pools, which is you anticipate who's going to be in the bracket for you, and you study them up a little bit. So the guy that I ran into, his name's Reston. He was really excited to play me. I'm pretty sure like he's just familiar with my playstyle. There were several moments in the game where he was just very obviously ready for what my next action was going to be even before I did it. So for me, he's a Peach player. Something that I do once like the neutral game has been established after like a punish has been dropped, I do a full jump when I'm turned around so that I can like back air away from them. He was just very obviously in position and ready to punish it. I had to dive very quickly because he was getting big punishes off of it. And like I think that's kind of where the game is going. So many people play the game. You see what your bracket is. You actually do need to study what your opponents are going to be and see what their habits are, see where you can get, even if it's like a very obscure situation, if you can spot it and be ready for it, you can take a stock. And that can be the difference between winning and losing a set.
Definitely.
It was awesome.
It's all about the punishment.
I was actually really happy to see it happen.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. And if you guys are just sitting in mid-conversation, this is Mr. Cactuar here.
I'm Mr. Cactuar.
Mr. Cactuar.
Mr. Cactus.
Smash practice.
Smash practice? What is it? What's that?
Smash practice.
Smash practice?
With Zoo and Cactus. Don't forget about Zoo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mr. Poor Zoo. All right, man. How much preparation did you put in for me for the scrimmage? Whether it be eating, sleeping, training?
So the last week, the last 2 weeks actually have been pretty focused on just like my Evo schedule.
Yeah.
So I've actually been going to sleep later than I normally would because, again, I'm from the East Coast. So me going to sleep 3 o'clock a.m. on the East Coast, for a normal East Coaster, that's like, oh dude, that's so late. But again, it's a 3-hour time difference. So coming here, we have to play our second round of pools at 8 p.m. That's 11 p.m. starting time for me. So that's been part of my preparation. I have been eating a bit healthier, eating more of like less fatty diet, less pizza, more salad, you could say. But I've also been studying my opponents. Like I know that in my second round of pools, like I did my own anticipation. I see that I have to play Squid, and then I have to play Lucky, and then I have to play the winner of Nintendude and Drugbox if I beat Lucky. So all of those players, downloaded some videos, watched, did a little bit of research, did my homework. I think that everybody should be doing that though, because the more familiar you are going into those matches, like you don't have to consciously think about it in the match. It's just that automatic control system takes over. All that information that you have goes into how you play against them. It makes the pace of the match much higher, but also just demonstrating your understanding of their playstyle while playing it and hoping that they have done the same for you. The level of play is much higher and much more enjoyable to watch. So I'm really hoping that they've done the same for me. They've actually studied my gameplay so that they can point out mistakes that I have. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
Wait real quick. Picture every phone. Wait real quick. Don't leave. And do you like to look at Evo as the ultimate tournament, like where it's like you got to pull out all the stops, or is it just another stepping stone?
This is the biggest tournament. I mean, it has almost 1,900 entrants for Melee. I think it's the most important one as far as like wanting to demonstrate how far you've come in the last year. Like we can go to the locals, we can just mess around with other characters, see how far we can go with that. But at Evo, it's so important to see the bracket, see what's coming up for you, and anticipating who's going to win all these other matches, preparing for the right people. Right now it's the most important like Smash event, honestly. Yeah.
Do you think that people actually play different at a tournament like this though? Like more passive?
Just keep going.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that playing more passive is the right thing. Like, you have to understand where it's important to take risk. And understanding where you can take risks against another opponent and potentially get a big payout for it, it's really important. That's all part of like the studying thing. So, I mean, I have some of my own things prepared. Lucky if he happens to like misplay in a certain way that he does commonly. If he does do that, I'm gonna get a fat payout out of it. But again, it's still gonna be me taking a risk. Like, it's not quite the same as there are reaction punishes in the game. It's just guaranteed follow-ups. But if you feel so confident that they're gonna do a certain thing, you can start with something that will guaranteed take the stock as opposed to putting on like 30-40%. So yeah, I think it's a little bit different in the play because again, the entire bracket is announced. You have the opportunity to look at it, think about who's gonna end up against you at a certain point in the bracket and really study them. Yeah.
And let's see here. What are you most excited for overall?
PP versus Leffen, if it happens. I think everybody is though. Like that's the big question mark right now because we've seen PP versus Armada, we've seen PP versus everybody else, but Leffen is at a point where he's had a huge escalation in skill level. Nobody's quite sure how that's going to happen, and Leffen has pointed out that PP is one of his favorite players to watch in the neutral game. That implies to me that he has been studying PP a little bit, even based on the limited videos that are out there. So seeing how far that will get him versus Leffen, as opposed to how far PP can go, having studied all of the Leffen stuff that's out there right now, I think that's the big question on everybody's mind.
And do you have a particular matchup you want to play this weekend?
All Foxitos.
All Foxitos?
I'm so focused
All
on
day?
Foxitos. Yeah.
All day, dude.
Because, again, Lucky is my guy.
Yeah.
Lucky's the guy that I have to fight against.
Yeah.
I might get bobbed, but I might also turn it up and take that set and then have to go against either Drug Fox or Nintendude, and then I might be a little bit more in trouble. But Foxitos right now, I love it.
Sure, dude.
Yeah.
And do you like to personally take matches one at a time? Or do you like to look deep down the bracket? Well, actually, you've been talking about deep down the bracket.
When you're playing,
Yes.
you forget about everything. You focus on that match. When you're preparing for a bracket like that, you study all that you can going into the tournament, but you don't want to be consciously thinking about that all while you're playing. You have to just kind of have faith in yourself to, like, that automatic control system in the brain to pull it all together and just give you the ability to do it. If you try to think about it too much, you're going to kind of like jar yourself. You're going to make all of your reactions a little bit slower because you're thinking about it too much. You need to kind of let go a little bit and be like, hey, this is what I've practiced for. Like, everything that I've programmed into myself at this point, like, that just has to happen by itself. Like, I just have to have faith.
Yeah.
Have faith. Yeah.
And how do you feel that the overall vibe is so far at Evo? What's the vibe like?
There are the players who are more focused on the party that is Evo, and there are players who are more focused on actually playing in the tournament, and it's kind of obvious to see where the divide is. Like, I'm very focused on playing my second round pools. Like, I'm probably going to go take a nap after this one because, yeah, be well rested. That's it. But, yeah, it's an energetic vibe. Like, I think everybody's, like, pumped up. Everybody is pumped up to either be watching and cheering on their favorite player or to be playing in those matches themselves. Yeah.
Do you have any last words for people who cannot make it out to Evo?
Come next year. Whatever you have to do, plan it. Like, if you think about it in the long term, this is going to be a yearly thing. Like, esports is growing, the fighting game communities are growing. It's going to be a long-term thing. Every year we have the opportunity to plan out the time. This should be like on your vacation schedule, whatever your job is. Like, it's just, this is time that I set aside for something that is a passion of mine, something that is a hobby of mine. Go to it, plan it out, set aside the money that you need to, do it, and just come out and have a good time at the tournament. If we see you year after year, you're eventually going to get included in all the cool stuff. So, yeah. Yeah.
Cactuar, one more thing. A quick shout out to SSBM Tutorials. Reintroduce yourself and say whatever you want to those people out there.
Dude, SSBM Tutorials actually hit me up to try and do something, and I feel like we never followed through with it, but I really want to because it's like along the lines of what Smash Practice does. But yeah, shout outs to SSBM Tutorials, and try to stay tuned to Smash Practice. We have more content planned for the future. We're going to be doing some really interesting stuff and really improvement oriented. So anybody who's looking to get into the game, pay attention to both our groups, and it'll give you the opportunity, the resources that you need to really do what you want to do.
Well, thank you again, Cactuar. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, all right?
Yeah, thank you.